Will you explain how you describe the place for people who never know about it?
I think the best thing to do is to visit somebody who lives here and try to get the direct experience, because it's so special. There's no place like this, I think, in the whole world.
I think you also mentioned one of the most important part, which is people. Here you're talking about people's interaction. Of course, you have intranet and many good systems, but I'm sure there should be some other key aspect. What makes people gathering, or what makes people do together? What do you think is the key, maybe secret recipe for that?
Well, I think in general people love this building, so we take care of it. If there is a problem, we are very eager to get it solved. And we do it via the internet, where we discuss what could be done. Maybe we make a group to solve it. For instance, there were some children going on the roof.
Yeah.
It's not allowed.
Yeah.
So we made a group about it, and now we try to handle it.
Okay. 질문은 다 갖고.
하고 싶은 말 있다면 마지막으로.
Is there any other final comment if you want to talk? Because we are making a smart city documentary. We'll talk about the living. Also, it will be shown in many different countries. So maybe is there any other comment you want to leave for the other people?
I think one of the important things of this building is that we have the possibility in our common rooms and our workshops to reuse things. We have a workshop where we can repair things, all kinds of things. We have electronics, mechanics, woodwork, so we can fix many things. And that's part of the sustainability concept of this building. And that's increasingly becoming important in the future.
Okay. 연배하고 할머니 성함하고.
Okay, could you repeat your age and your name and your wife's name again, please?
Yes, okay. My name is Palle Jensen. I'm 74 years old. My wife Birgit lives here also.
이거 좀 잠깐 넘기는 거 한 칸.
So, thanks for inviting us in the lovely place.
My pleasure.
Tell us who you are and what do you do.
Yes. My name is Johnny Saad, and I have a great passion for sound and music, and I've been working with it for many years. Everything from music composition, sound branding, and also sound therapy.
I can see you are living in a very nice area and a very nice sound as well. Is there any specific reason why do you live in this kind of place?
Well, I believe that, we have too much sound pollution in our environments, in our cities, and all around us. And it's very important, as with food, what kind of music that you listen to, that you put inside, and also the symphony of the universe. So everything has a vibration and energy. The whole universe is built up of that. And my focus, because I've been very sensitive through working with sound, specialized for many years, is focus on positive sound.
You also just mentioned food is also important. Do you have some kinds of lifestyle or life pattern? What kinds of food that you prefer to eat?
Sure. I mean, food is also like music. I mean, I'm very aware of what I put inside me. Because if you look at foods today, and you go to the supermarket, even a piece of bread, you turn it around and it has all these different I don't know what you call that, sorry, in English. Let's take it again.
Yeah.
About the food.
Yeah. So could you tell us a little bit about, you just mentioned food. So you just also mentioned about food, but why food is also important?
Well, as I mentioned before, everything has a frequency, everything has a vibration, either good or bad. And most of the food that we are producing today in the supermarkets actually have a negative vibration. A lot of toxins and all these different things. So as with music or food, I'm very aware of what I put into my body.
You just mentioned frequency. What is the sort of the most common example of frequency we are aware of it in the city?
Well, basically noise, bad noise, traffic noise. And not so long ago, last year, there was a survey, a research that showed that actually a lot of Danish people dying because of street noise. It increases stress, everybody has a membrane inside their cell, and that vibrates like everything in the universe. And when that has a negative disharmonic vibration, that means that it actually causes disease in the body. The body's out of balance. So my focus is to create balance.
So let's say we are talking about smart city now. Also, we are talking about people who live there. Let's say if you are giving us kind of...
One more time 할게요. 진정한 어두워져가지고.
Sorry, it's getting a little more dark.
빨리 질문하면 돼요.
Okay, I think he got much better light, so maybe we repeat the question from the beginning.
Sure,
then.
sure.
Just a much better light.
Yeah.
자, 하이, 큐.
Thanks for inviting us. Could you tell us who you are and what do you do?
My name is Johnny Saad, and I have a great passion that has to do with sound, music, frequency. And I spent the last 15, 16 years of my life focusing on creating positive vibrations through music.
You are living in such a nice place and with a good sound and good environment. Why do you live here instead of living in a city?
아리소의 하이. 진짜 처음부터.
Okay.
이제 마지막입니다. 오케이. 큐.
Thanks for inviting us. Could you tell us...
더 나아요.
Okay. Could you tell us who you are and what do you do?
You're welcome. Yes, my name is Johnny Saad, and I am a specialist in music, frequencies, sound therapy, audio branding, and I have a great passion for anything that has to do with good sound.
And you are living in such a nice place with a nice sound and a nice environment. Is there any reason why you are living here instead of the city?
Sure. I mean, there is so much pollution, especially sound pollution. And as we're working for 15 years now with sound and music, you get very sensitive. So that's, get away from the stress of the sound pollution in the city has been very important for me. And also to be in an area where it's positive and a healthy sounding environment.
You also mentioned about the healthy, positive environment. Is there any way you also connect with your food? Because you're also having a very healthy, healthy way to eating the food. So is there also kind of connection to why you're doing this? Sure.
I mean, everything in the universe has a vibration and an energy, a frequency, either it's positive or negative. And while listening to some music can have a negative effect, not only on you as a person, it can make you happy or sad, but physiologically, biologically, by listening to some music, it can have a negative frequency, but also some foods have a lot of, let's say, toxins or E numbers to make them last longer, and that actually has a negative effect on your body. So with food or with sound, everything that you put inside you or that you are sort of like affected by every day, you have to become more aware about that.
So we are talking about smart city. So when I say smart city, there should be so many things we need to be aware of it. But is there also sound is important to aware of it?
Sure. I mean, in any environment, it's always healthy to focus on positive sound and not too much noise. When we look at something, for example, traffic, we can see here from studies in Denmark that people are actually dying directly because of sound traffic pollution in areas that are very polluted from the traffic. It goes in, everybody has cells inside them, and inside every cell there's a membrane, and this vibrates. So when this becomes out of balance, that's when you see the disease. And even a cancer cell will have a frequency. So everything works on a level, and it's very important to always make some kind of balance, and that's what I'm trying to do with my environment, with the food that I eat, and be picky and choosy, comparing to what lifestyle that you wish to lead.
Do you ever be in Asian countries such as Korea?
Sure.
You might see the very big difference.
Oh.
Is there also kinds of connection between sound and this difference? Can you explain us a little bit about it?
Yeah. I mean, one of the main things when I, for example, visited Seoul, I was very much affected by heavy noise. A lot of people, a lot of traffic, and just a lot of different noise coming from everywhere. And, you know, this will be something that will have a negative effect on people in the way that you will become more stressed, your system will become out of balance, so you will need some kind of way to bring that balance back. And this is what we can do through sound therapy or diets or other kinds of balancing ways of making sure that your body and you are in harmony. Because what we're actually experiencing here is disharmony. So it's a bad frequency, it's disharmonic.
So maybe you already mentioned about it, but we are talking about smart city. The city is about 50 years, 100 years. Yeah? It's not about the 5 years time. So let's say sound is that important. How can we make this city reliable with the good sound? Can you make any suggestions for this?
Sure, we can start looking at the way that the architects are building and look at more better acoustics, you know, to dampen the noise. I mean, let me give you a good example. You can go to a very expensive restaurant and pay a lot of money for amazing food, but if there's too much noise, even the food and the taste of the food subconsciously will be affected. That's why, you know, as a whole, even if you have let's say a movie.
Repeat that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Repeat that.
Yeah. Okay.
Could you repeat that again about, so we're talking about smart cities. You know, smart cities is about not the 5 years time, it's talking about 50 years, 100 years people have lived there.
Yeah.
You mentioned sound is so important, the sound pollution is very important, but how can we adapt this in the new city?
That's a very good question. I think one of the main areas is how we are building the cities, the architecture and the structuring of it, and to make something that is more acoustic, you know, that will kill the noise or somehow balance out the noise. I just lost it.
Okay, we could do it again.
I know the question, yeah. Let me... Huh? I'm not right?
Yeah. Do you want something to drink?
So I think there's a lot of different aspects we can look at. One of the main things is, of course, the architecture, how we're structurizing and building, and making sure that we make it better acoustically to dampen and remove some of the noise, cancel the noise. And secondly, also the way that we are living our lives today with too much stress factors going on, because it's not only about noise. If you look at something bad frequency like, for example, Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi is the same as a microwave frequency, so that also has a negative effect on the way that, you know, on our bodies.
조한님이 밝고 또 궁금한 거.
너무 어떻게 얘기했죠?
sorry. 일단 너 뭐하냐? 네가 하는 일은 뭐냐? 너가 이제 이렇게 좋은 데 사는 이유가 있냐? 소리도 중요하고 뭐 이렇게 얘기했다 그러면 너 음식을 되게 중요하게 얘기했는데 왜 음식까지 그러냐? 음식에 대한 얘기 쭉 하고 그럼 네가 지금 도시의 소음에 대해서 얘기했는데 도시의 소음이 중요하냐? 이런 얘기하고 한국에 가봤잖냐? 한국에서 어떻게 느꼈는지 한국 도시가 소음이 심하다라는 얘기를 했고 만약에 네가 스마트시티에서 만약에 그렇게 소리가 중요하다면 어떻게 우리가 스마트시티에서 소리를 적용하면 될까? 이런 얘기가
Okay.
앞으로 뭐 바란 점이 있다면 앞으로 어떻게 좀 이제 이 소리를 가지고 어떻게 좀 그런 게 있잖아요. 그러니까 이 소리를 가지고 친환경적인 를 만들 수 있다면 그런 거 마지막에.
So my final question will be, what is your expectation with this sound therapy? He wants to put it as a more like a very simple and just more like a easy way to explain.
Sure.
So could you do that?
Yeah.
So how do you expect this sound therapy to be effective? Because you're talking about city, so about people. This therapy is not really effective, but how can you do this? I mean, do you have any plan for the future?
Sure. I mean, there are a lot of different ways of doing it, but we want to make this available for as many people as possible. We want to make the world a better place, and we want to do that without using drugs or any other kinds of medicaments in that sense, and that is a completely 100% natural way, and to bring the body back into balance and people back into balance through natural frequencies that are existing every day. Let me give you a good example. You go into the sun has a frequency, a wave, and that starts to create your D vitamins, A vitamins, and so forth. We cannot live without the frequency from the sun. It's very important, and that's a good example of a positive frequency that we can also use in so many other different positive ways.
앞으로 뭐 반환전이나 뭐 가구, 반 그러니까 앞으로 자기 목표가 있잖아요.
Skat, du bliver nødt til at gå og trykke på toilettet derude.
Is there any your personal goal or expectation in terms of the business? So that's what in this or something? 네, 그래. 화장실 물소리 또.
앞으로 이제
물어볼게요.
목표나 뭐 그런 거.
So
스마트시티나 뭐 여러 가지 있을 것 같아요.
a final question will be, what would be your next step? And maybe you can adapt in many different ways in terms of music or sound therapy, or many different ways, but what would be your future step? Yeah.
Well, our future step would be, for example, as a content provider, bringing these positive sound therapy to around the world in different. That could be in a luxury car. It could be as part of a treatment in a spa, or it could even just be by streaming at home. So this is what we want to be able to spread this in the whole world, and that everybody has access to our sound therapy.
Maybe may I ask you your reference, because I believe you had to work with very big manufacturers, especially for the car manufacturer. Yes. What did you do with the car manufacturer? Could you explain us a little bit about it?
Yes. The car manufacturer was looking for a high-level sound design for a luxury car, and we provided the sound design. And this car was autonomous. That means it was driving by itself. So it had a lot of sensors and other stuff. And also we tried to make it sort of like more caring sounds, caring moods, pleasant. Especially now that we know that the normal combustion engine actually has a negative frequency that are damaging people's health, then we wanted to bring in healthy sounds for the motor industry.
Thank you. Good.
Også A-vitamin. Det er kun D-vitamin, der er også A-vitamin.
They have a final request because they think you two are very beautiful. So maybe if you just sit down and talk, it's a gift, because we only have a kitchen scene. It's also beautiful here. Maybe sit down and talk with the Johnny. Danish, that's fine. What we try. So tell us who you are and which department you're working for.
My name is Christina Anderskov, and I work for the City of Copenhagen within the Technical and Environmental Administration. I have a role as an international strategist, and what I work with is business development, and it's also our Smart City Lab, Copenhagen Solutions Lab.
Okay. We also heard Smart City. Copenhagen is very famous for Smart City.
Hi.
So Copenhagen is very popular as a smart city. Could you explain us why Copenhagen is famous for?
Well, there are several elements to it, but I think that it's especially because we've been working with Smart City in Copenhagen Solutions Lab, a separate lab just for Smart City initiatives since 2014, 2015. And it's been a very steep learning curve. We've gone from having a highly technical focus and just testing everything, making many partnerships with private sector and other municipalities and internationally, till a focus where we now know what we need to focus on is the need of the city. It's not so much the need of the companies, but the need of the city to achieve our other policies, visions, and goals.
So when you say city, it means it's about the people who live here?
It's very much about the people, and it's about the city of Copenhagen. How do we make the city that people live in as great as possible for the citizens?
You also mentioned Copenhagen is a living lab, but could you also explain a little bit about what it is?
With the UN Sustainable Development Goals, the politicians here in Copenhagen, they have decided on a new action plan to commit to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And one of the things that we see that we can do in Copenhagen is open Copenhagen up to use it as a lab for the UN Sustainable Development Goals. We can share, we can test in Copenhagen, and we can share our learnings and data with the rest of the world, and especially the global south, that may not have as many resources to do this as we do in Copenhagen.
I also saw when I was in Copenhagen, I saw there are so many green areas. Is there some reason why you keep the green area?
Yes. We are very focused, and we have a policy for keeping the city green and biodiverse, and having as many trees as we have a policy for 100,000 new trees, not the existing ones, and it's because it makes our citizens happy. It makes the air cleaner, and it helps contain the biodiversity in the world.
Also, there are so many bicycles in Copenhagen.
Yes.
I see also outside. Is there any reason why people are using so many bicycles?
Yes, there is. Because we built this city for bikes.
Okay.
We have a climate action plan. We want to become carbon neutral as the first capital in the world by 2025. That means that we have to cut back on all kinds of fossil fuels, also the ones from the cars. So we are building the city so it's the easiest and most convenient way to get around Copenhagen. It's by using the bike, and it's by walking and combining it with public transportation as well. 62% of all Copenhageners, they bike to school and work every day.
Wow.
Also in the winter, in the summer, in the winter time, rain or snow, this is how we get around in Copenhagen. Most Copenhageners do not own a car. We almost have 700,000 bikes in Copenhagen.
I believe you also went to Korea.
I have.
You might have some kind of impression.
Wonderful country, and I've only been to Seoul. But maybe I should I do need to say, I watched you play the football match the other day.
Okay.
So I would like to congratulate you on winning over Germany. Good win.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been to Seoul in 2015 together with our former mayor for technical and environmental affairs, Mayor Cabell.
Then how was it? And you can you explain a little bit about your insight or your feedback?
I think it was a very interesting city, a very beautiful city, and the air. I don't know if it is true, but the air felt very clean.
Okay.
And I like that you could see you're really trying to implement bike infrastructure. I could also see you're not quite there yet, but what I really liked was how you made it easy to combine public transportation, the bike infrastructure, and walking, and also the taxis, because you have this card that you can use for everything, a travel card. But at the same time, I was explained by your mayor that this card, there's also like a bonus if you buy green products, and I think that is very clever and very, in a smart city context, it's very smart that you have this flow and you can jump from one means of transport to the other. That was one of the big things I took home, and I thought,
Right. So we are also targeting we are not really only targeting for Korea, this program. We're targeting also more globally. And then we choose Copenhagen as one of the best case benchmark. Let's say if other city wants to follow Copenhagen way, what would be the advice we would give?
Well, I think it's very important not to lose yourself in a tech focus, but instead of the tech controlling you, control the tech and know what you want to use it for. Is it really smart?
Okay.
Or are you just investing a lot and time and effort on something nobody really needs, nobody really wants?
I think, just one second. 질문은 충분히 다 했는데요. 굉장히 많은 좋은 얘기 나왔고, 뭐 스마트 시티에서 정의하라고 그러죠?
아니, 이거 혹시 이거는
했어요.
이것도 다?
이제 스마트 이건 다 했고, 근데 자전거 얘기도 좀 했고, 예. 근데 왜 녹색이 많은지도 좀 얘기했고, 한국 갔다 왔더니 한국이랑 비교하는 얘기도 좀 나왔고.
그러면 스마트 정의 한번 짧게.
Because he really liked the definition of what you made in the smart city. So maybe you can just watch camera and talk about your short definition of smart city one more time. You just mentioned again.
What I think is very important is not to lose yourself in the tech, not let the tech control you, but to control the tech. Make sure that you know what you need, what your city need, what your needs are, and how tech can help you solve these issues. So you don't end up with a lot of technical stuff that no one is going to use, and it's not helping alleviate any of the problems you have in the city.
One more time.
Okay.
Make a little bit shorter, yeah.
Yes.
No problem.
What is really important. What is really important is not to lose yourself in the technology. Don't let the technology control you, but control the technology. Look at the needs of your city, of your citizens, and work with that, not just with a lot of technical gadgets that no one's going to use anyway.
Okay, because of noise.
What's really important, I think, is not to lose yourself in the technology, not let the technology control you, but control the technology. So, know what you want, know what the needs of your city and your citizens are, and then look for solutions for that.
Thank you.
Good. What is the business opportunity and who to work with by evaluating the technology? So that's my role. So before I come into Denmark, I had also signed a huge amount of money for them.
인터뷰는 여기 따로 했습니다.
보놀름만 거기서 한다면서요? 보놀름 거기서 한다고 했던 건데?
전체 좀 하려고 했는데
좋아요.
그냥 그 DTU 하려고 했잖아요.
예, DTU 설명하시고 보놀름 저희가 설명하시고.
I guess you proposed Pyongyang as one of the smart cities that has to be developed in anticipation of a merger.
Hopefully, yeah. So I got many responsibilities and I have to be very, I have so many pressure. Yeah. So, Professor, could you explain us who you are and where we are today?
Yes, my name is Christian Traholt. I'm associate professor at this place, and right now we are in the heart or in the core of our very activities here at Lyngby. Sorry, that's
okay.
I'm Christian Traholt, associate professor at this place. Right now we are at the very heart of our electric energy and power activities in DTU, Technical University of Denmark. And we have our lab facilities here, we have our competences concentrated here, and we have a lot of student activities here as well.
So what does actually DTU Power Labs do? What's the main role?
DTU Power Labs formally or strictly is our laboratory facility that is
connected to the Center for Electric Power and Energy. The Center for Electric Power and Energy is like 100-person big research and development unit within the Department of Electrical Engineering under DTU.
이거
yes.
디테일에 대한 설명을 한다고.
하고 있잖아요. 하고 계신가? 저 그림이 아니라고? Maybe you can also show us the picture of the power lab while we are talking.
Okay.
It's better.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
그런 질문을
Oh,
나는
sorry.
이쁜 배경에서
DTU 파워랩만 여기서 보놀룸 저리 가신다고 하시네요.
We can also, if you prefer that one, we can turn around.
일단 해도 돼요. 보놀 처음부터 저기서 할까요?
오케이. 디테일 설명만.
네. 끝내고 바로 옮길게요. So we'll just continue with DTU power lab, then we'll move there.
So, in a single word, you could say it's our hardware. But hardware is so much today, including our high-performance computers and those kind of facilities, and our teaching facilities as well. So, Power Lab is a one-to-one part of the Center for Electric Power and Energy. Power Lab is nothing without Center of Electric Power and Energy. And Center of Electric Power and Energy is nothing without Power Lab. Okay. So they are sort of mirroring each other.
I can see in this room there's so many screens here.
Yes.
So I can see there's a Bornholm and know-how. Maybe could you explain us a little bit about it?
Yes. From our center here and from Power Lab here, we are able to monitor all our facility, both our laboratory facility here, our remote facilities in 40 kilometers from here at our former national lab, Risø, our collaboration partners' facilities at Bornholm Island, and the Nordhavn facilities. So Nordhavn and Bornholm is sort of associated with the Power Lab facilities, and the monitoring part is integrated in our Power Lab facilities. The only thing different is that in this case and at Risø, we can monitor and control. But in Bornholm and Nordhavn, we can only monitor. We can see but not touch, because they don't want us to try 5 times to black out Bornholm and these kind of things. So we can see everything. We can see maybe even more than they can do in their own system at Bornholm, but we cannot control it from here.
이제 옮겨도 괜찮습니다.
우리 저 파이브도 뭐 옮기고 준비한 거 같은데.
그건 이제 보놀룸이고요. 그래서 조금 이건 뒤에 파워를 소개했고
알겠는데 파이브한테 좀 설명을 하고
그거랑 이거랑 좀 같은 화면이면 maybe what was the PowerPoint that you're trying to show us?
This is not a PowerPoint. I just logged in on our homepage.
What was the screen? I mean, was it the...
This one. This is from my SharePoint. There was a PowerPoint here with this is from one of our projects called...
Okay, could you explain us a little bit more?
Yes, here's an example of our electric vehicle project. That is one of our electric vehicle projects in the portfolio, where we are working on and together with the Bornholm and the Bornholm power system.
Okay.
And this particular project is the project called ACES, Across Continents, integration of the power, being integrated into the grid. But at the same time, we emulate this on our simulators, and we calculate maybe a full...
What's the red dot means? Red dot means the current pulleys and
this is just an example of a map of Bornholm. The red dots in this case means that we have a monitoring unit monitoring current and voltage. So, yeah. Okay. And then the blue dot sort of shows how many megawatt we are talking about.
How many EVs are you talking about in that example?
Well, number of real EVs, we only have maybe 10 or 20, which is associated with some of our collaboration partners, either the Bornholm Energy or the Bornholm municipality. They have some service cars that they use for their customer and their citizens. But then we scale up to like 5,000 or 10,000 cars in Bornholm, something like that.
So could you explain us what this screen is talking about?
Yes. First of all, we have here is a screen of the 10 kilovolt or 10,000 volt grid on Bornholm. And each of the colors indicates like the connection to a single bus bar in a substation. We can change the view. We can change it to the overall 60,000 volts, so 60 kilovolts, which is the overall so-called transmission grid on Bornholm. Or we can change the view also to our local power lab facilities just behind the wall. We can also change. Here we can see but not touch. On the other side, we can reconfigure, we can measure, we can actually activate and deactivate nodes and so on the other side. A big part of... Oh, yeah.
Sorry, 1 second. Well,
Yeah.
Could you repeat that one just one more time, please?
Yes. Here at our facilities, so-called SCADA system, we have screens and we have monitoring and of the Bornholm activities. And what we see right now is our 10 kilovolts or 10,000 volt grid on Bornholm. That's the distribution part. The next level, the low level, is 400 volt, is what you find in the plugs in the residential houses and so on. And then we can shift this view also to the 60 kilovolt transmission grid of Bornholm, which connects to Sweden in a single cable. We can also switch the view to our local power lab facilities just behind the wall. This view we can only monitor and see. We cannot touch, we cannot reconfigure anything, but we can click in on details as we see on the other one as a schematic. We can click in and see how much power, current, how much voltage is there in a single node. On the other side and the other view, we can actually see, monitor, and we can reconfigure and activate and deactivate bus bars and nodes and so on the other side.
I can see there are around 5 different energy sources
Yes.
on the screen. What is
Yes.
that? Could you explain it?
This one is our... it's very important for us to promote what we are doing. So similar to the Danish map or the Denmark map, which is by one of our energy companies.
Okay, that's Denmark.
Yeah, the one at the upper right corner. We have developed a power lab map of Bornholm with data collected by our measurements in the Bornholm grid. And here we monitor the sort of 5 main activities, which is the wind, the biomass, the solar power, and the consumption, as well as the exchange with the marine cable to Sweden. That's the lower part. So at the moment, you can see right now we have a small in export actually. So Bornholm probably, or very likely due to a very nice weather, solar power, it's at like 50% of maximum production, as well as the wind, which is quite good. You also have like a 50% of maximum power output at the wind. We actually produce more than the consumption, which can only be absorbed in this case by exporting to Sweden.
Okay.
And this actually encapsulates the very central part of our challenge in the future, if we did not have Sweden to export to, we have to find another way to accommodate the surplus of production. And we have many ways to do this, and we're working hard in order to involve electric cars, to change and do the consumption on demand, and on storage in general, in electric batteries and so on. So.
방금 되게 중요한 얘기를 했는데 지금 보놀름 현재 상황이 소비보다 생산이 많아서 에너지를 스웨덴에 수출하고 있다는 모습을 설명해 주세요. 이렇게 하면
그 다음에 뭐 보여준다고 해야지 잘
Also, could you able to show us any?
계속 찍고 있어요.
Okay, he's still recording, but could you able to show us any other labs in here, or
Sure.
maybe in the
Sure.
Yeah.
So could you actually able to show us a little more hidden space behind here?
Sure. When we finish here, we can go and visit the actual physical things. Just to finish very shortly here, we also have a monitoring of the total energy grid, and we also work, of course, with forecasting related, spilling into, you could say, weather forecasting and so on, where we try to predict what will be the wind production and what will be the solar production and so on, and try to adapt to that in advance. So being proactive rather than as in conventionally reacting on the back edge of events.
Okay.
So if you are ready, we can go and have a look at our other facilities.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Which way are you going?
Well, we can start walking this way. This part is our supercomputer, which is dedicated for calculating the power grid. So we have our models. We have the full-scale model of Bornholm here. We have a reduced model of Denmark here. And this facility is the biggest facility in the northern hemisphere, in Scandinavia, and the biggest academic facilities, as far as I know, in Europe. The facility here can, in combination with hardware in and out, can actually integrate. It can integrate hardware in the loop, so you can actually have hardware acting in your model and sort of interacting with your model, the software model. So you can actually mix your test on hardware and in model voice. Here we have our sort of larger lab where we have students working with machines, superconducting stuff, and so on. And we have a large amplifier here behind all the mess here, unfortunately. We will clean up in a week or so because we will soon receive test equipment and so on. This is a huge amplifier. If you think about audio amplifier, you're talking about kilowatts. This is 150 kilowatt.
Wow.
So it can play the Roskilde Music Festival up several times. It's so powerful. Okay. So, and this is actually one which can absorb and generate power, completely as you control and please. And this is also a very unique unit which you can actually couple together with our supercomputer and via optical links and so on. We have some blue dot development now with Formula E cars, student Formula E cars, so they're working with the hardware here and the power electronics and so on. You saw there was speeders and brakes and so on working on this. This part is like part of where we work with the integration between the energy infrastructure, so integration between power, between heat, which is district heating typically, and gas, which is, at least in Denmark, we have a natural gas power grid as well. And of course, transportation. So here's a small scale of it where we can sort of play around and we can use or exploit the flexibility that if we have too much power production due to wind or solar power, then we can heat up the water with the electricity rather than by burning gas or by burning fossil fuel.
Okay.
So we have PV on the rooftop here, and the connection to the PV is our inverters, which is just on the wall here behind you.
One,
yeah. So. Right now, a lot of our electric vehicle facility or electric vehicle units, so which means the car basically, are at our our remote location at Risø near Roskilde.
Yeah.
Here now we have some old stuff, and we have some of our own convertible that they are sort of rebuilt from internal combustion engines to electric engines and a battery here. So, and here is this the part of the student activities. So we have a very open laboratory here where students can come and work. We fund a little bit sort of hardware and time and space here, and then they have to go and seek sponsorship to do their work here. And it's like senior students guiding younger students. So it's purely student run with just one single supervisor that sort of guarantee the level and make sure everything is all right. So
This is actually V2G.
yes, this is the a V2G kind of charger, which is developed in collaboration with the Italian and Spanish manufacturer. The ownership of the manufacturing has changed a little bit since we started, but this is one unit that is able to exchange on the DC, which means on the CHAdeMO, yeah. So on the CHAdeMO standard, we can exchange up to plus minus 10 kilowatt.
Okay.
So 10 kilowatt you could charge a Nissan, a new Nissan, or an Ioniq in 4 hours or so, if it's from empty to complete 100% full.
So vehicle to grid is, very...
Yes, vehicle to grid in this case is the ultimate integration of the electric car into the power grid. So in a sense, the power grid sources the services from the electric vehicle, and the vehicle, everything is supposed to happen behind the scene and automatic, so people don't need to think about it. They only up front have to give yes or no, I want to participate in this. So it's like, do you want to get a cheaper green energy, or do you want to buy the expensive one where you do not support and participate in the grid support? So this is like a simple upfront choice.
Yes,
do you want to participate, or do you want to pay dearly? So.
So could you tell us who you are and what do you do?
My name is Christian. I work at the Danish Ministry of Education.
Okay, so it looks like you're using bicycle.
Can we do that again?
Yeah,
Because I
no
work
problem.
Employment.
It's okay.
And I'm looking at that.
You can start now.
No.
Okay,
Are we good?
Yeah.
1, 2.
그리고 대들음 여기 밑으로.
이렇게? Okay.
이 정도. 네.
You have to look at me, not the mic, yeah?
No, yeah, I know. That was what I did.
So could you tell us who you are and what do you do?
My name is Christian. I work at the Danish Ministry of Employment.
Seems like you are using bicycle every day.
고개를 너무 이쪽으로 조금만.
어디?
대표님이 앞으로 조금.
Okay. So you have to watch me, yeah? So
지금 안 돼.
okay.
조금 떨어지고 조금만. 네, 됐습니다. 시작.
So looks like you are using bicycle every day, but is it really easy to bike in Copenhagen?
I bike around every day. It's the easiest way to get around, We got a lot of buses, we got a lot of metros and whatever, but the easiest and fastest way to get around is definitely on bike.
자, 또 뭐해? 자전거 타는 게 편하고 뭐 그게 제일 코펜하겐은 편하대.
자전거리 하나 좀 부탁한다.
오케이.
그러니까 처음부터 왜 이렇게 자전거 타고 다니냐.
그걸 물어봤어요. 되게 짧게 대답했어요.
다시 좀 길게 얘기해달라 그러고 그리고 같이 연결해서 그러면 코펜하겐 자전거리 한번 얘기해달라.
오케이.
뭐 이런 얘기 있겠죠. 코펜하겐은 뭐 에너지 자리 뭐 도시로서 뭐 이렇게 나오지 않을까?
I'll have a... Well, I'll ask you again, yeah? Okay, you can make a little more longer way, yeah?
Oh, so I need to...
That's a little bit more longer.
Should I talk about why we back around? Or?
Yeah. And
Okay.
so it looks like you are using bicycle, but are you using bicycle every day?
I bike every day.
But is it really easy to bike in Copenhagen?
It is easy to bike around, you know. The city has been made for cyclists. That's the fastest way to get around, and everyone in Denmark has been taught how to ride a bike from they were, 3 years old or something. So for us, regular Danish people, we just bike around whenever, and that's easy and fast.
What about the everyday? Is it still fine?
Yeah, this bike doesn't have it, but usually we have a bit of screening from the water and whatever, but we still ride the bikes. Yeah, definitely.
So, is there any other thing you think Copenhagen is the
The good thing about Copenhagen is that it really focuses on when people are going to work, and then it makes sure that the lights change in that order. So, for instance, when I'm going to work, I ride a green light all the way there.
Cool.
And when I go home from work, I ride a green light. Because it makes sure that in the rush hour, there are green lights all over. So for me, whenever I ride my bike, it's so fast and it's so easy. And that's the good thing about Copenhagen when you commute on a bike.
Okay, so we're ready.
I'm ready.
So, Mia, could you explain us who you are and where we are, please?
Who I am? I'm Vinnie Grosbell, and I am mayor of a little small island called Bornholm. And Bornholm is placed in the middle of the Baltic Sea, between Sweden and Germany and Denmark.
And Mayor, what is the most famous thing in Bornholm?
Well, actually Bornholm is famous for many things. We are famous for the food producing and food making. We are famous because of the nature. We had a lot of tourists. And then we're famous because of the energy and the work to retransfer the energy system to 100% renewable energy sources.
So many people are interested about this energy part of Bornholm Island. Could you sort of explain us about history or background or why you are doing this and what could be the future of this energy part?
Well, you could say that we are an island in the middle of the Baltic Sea, and that's why it gives so good sense to be self-sufficient and to make an energy system to be 100% renewable. We are very privileged to be living in the very beautiful nature, and I think the whole project was based because of we wished to take care of the nature of Bornholm, and we wish to be responsible for the way we're doing things at Bornholm. So that's the history of this project.
And what could be the future of Bornholm as energy?
Well, you can say when you are an island, the good thing is that actually you can disconnect us to the mainland, and then we are a complete society in the middle of the sea, so you can actually test very many things, test the human behavior when you, what will happen if you chooses to do this or do that, how do people react when you do it, and then you can test it, you can monitor it, and you can see what is happening before you take the decision. And that's good when you're going to make some big investments. So I think the future is to become a living laboratory, a living lab for testing new technologies. We have a lot of big industry companies in Denmark which are good at making green technology. We have the Vestas, the wind turbines. We have power plants, and they are very interesting to have a living lab and as a living society to do some tests. So in cooperation with the Danish Technology and University, we are trying to make this island to a living laboratory.
So when I actually arrived in the airport, people say there's new solar power plant and things are building in now, but people talk about it. Could you explain us a little bit about it?
Yeah, well, you can say that the main target is to become 100% carbon free in 2025, and to become that we have to dismiss oil and coal and all fossils. Yeah, we have to become fossil free. So we have to incorporate technology which is based on wind and solar panels and biomasses and biogas. So right now we have just opened 2 big parks of solar panels to become a part of this energy system at the island.
You know, first of all, congratulations, you've been re-elected. So, you've been just re-elected, a few months ago.
Yes.
That means you are very popular in this island. And you are also very good at how to make these people get involved in this energy project. What is your secret recipe to do this living there?
Well, I think that people living on Bornholm is very pleased to become a part of this experiment. And I think that's because they love Bornholm and they want to become a part of the way we are developing Bornholm. They can see that it's good for Bornholm to have some big companies to become closer connected to Bornholm. And they are actually saying, okay, you can have my household and you can try to test your technology on me. And then I think they think it's interesting to become a part of the new agenda for the future, because some of the things we are testing, for example, the smart grid in the EcoGrid project, is the technology which is going to be presented in the future. So I think people think it's interesting to become a part of developing new technology for the future, not only on Bornholm or Denmark, but in the rest of the world.
So you already been to Korea, and can you maybe compare with the city or island you've been in Korea with the Bornholm island? What could the Korea have to take as a reference from the Bornholm?
Yes, I went to Korea 2 years ago, and I was very impressed about the high level of ambition. They have very high ambition, and I like when you have high ambition because then you are reaching for something. So, and I think it was very impressive how they the goals about EVs to vehicles into the roads, and all the thoughts you are giving about how you're going to get to have many more cars based on EV technology. That was impressive. I think we can learn a lot from Korea about the EVs, but maybe Korea can learn some things about us, about the energy system and transforming a fossil energy system into a carbon-free energy system, because that's what we have done at this island.
I have one final question, which is I'm asking this question for everybody.
Yeah.
So we are doing this documentary for the smart city. So
Yes.
I want to hear your definition of smart city. So of course it could be the island, but what could be your definition? Very short. What could be your definition for smart city? Your definition for smart city.
A smart city is a city which is producing the energy that they use. So you don't use any much more than you produce.
Okay.
So you are self-sufficient.
Could you do it again with when you're just watching the camera? Just make
Okay.
it one more time. Yeah. Ready? Yeah, make it a little bit short.
A little bit shorter?
Yeah, a little bit shorter.
A smart city is a city which is producing.
No, just one second.
Yes, a smart city is a city which is producing as much energy as they use. So you have a total cost city. Thank you.
Mayor, can I just ask you one picture with me?
One picture with you?
Yeah, so I can show it to everybody. And embassy that I'm with you today.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay.
Well, just then I will just take a selfie with you.
예, 이렇게 해가지고 다른 사람들한테 안 된다고 시장님 해줬다고.
Okay, we're trying here. We just have a. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
See
Hope to
you,
see you
see
again.
you.
Yeah?
Maybe. Yeah, we will.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good luck. Good luck, and say hello to Klaus. Yes. Oh yeah. Well, you need your microphone. Yeah.
Thank you.
저는 되게 오래 알았는데 재선이 돼가지고 지금 시간이 되게 없는데 빼주신 거고요. 여기 사진 이거 일본해가지고 살짝 이제 나중에 혹시 안 되면 시장님이랑 같이 하는 거라고 이렇게 얘기하려고 그러고 PD님 원하. So could you explain us who you are and what names and where you're from?
Yes, my name is Lasse, and this is my girlfriend Mette. We are both from Copenhagen, and we are here on a sort of holiday for the weekend because of the big chef competition.
Yeah. Sorry. One more time, sorry.
The same one again?
Yeah, please, yeah.
Yeah, so my name is Lasse, and this is my girlfriend Mette. We are from Copenhagen, and we are here at Bornholm this weekend to see the chef competitions going on, the biggest chef competition in Denmark.
Okay. We are here to trying to find why Bornholm is famous for green and smart city and smart island. Do you heard about this kind of thing about energy part of Bornholm, or you only know about the tourist part of Bornholm?
More the tourist part of Bornholm, yeah. So we have been here. I've been here a couple of times now. I was here last year as well for the competition, and then as a small kid I went here for a holiday. So it's like you can really relax here. It's a really holiday island.
All right.
So I've been here a few times during summer period. So
that's why you bring your beautiful girlfriend here.
Exactly. Yeah.
You never been here? It's first time?
No, I have been here for holiday also, but never to this.
Okay, never to this area.
No.
What is the best part of Bornholm Island?
Well, I think you're so close to the ocean. I know that Denmark in general, you are really close to the ocean compared to, for example, Germany, But I think here you really have like holiday feelings, and when you come out here, you can really relax. And then it's just beautiful surroundings with nice landscapes, water, gastronomic. It's also being really popular to come here. So they have a lovely restaurant, Cadeau, where they do really good food as well.
Oh, really?
So yeah, there's many reasons to go here, and that's why we're here.
네이밍 이름은 앞에 좀 했었죠? 오케이. 땡큐.
Yeah, stop. So could you tell us your name and where do you live?
Yes, I'm Ronny Rasmussen and I live here in Bodilsker, Bornholm.
Okay. You don't want me to interfere. He only want you. So could you tell us your name and where do you live?
Yes, I live here in Bornholm, Gadegårdsvejen 5, 37 Nexø. And yes.
And what do you do in here?
I have a little small company, make cars. Yes.
I can see there is a big solar panel just next to your company. Do you like it?
Yes, it's okay with me.
How do you see it? I mean,
yeah, but it's a fine green island, and so we must have a good solar energy. Yeah.
At the first time, is there anybody who's saying no for this?
Yes. Yeah. We have a neighbor, and it's not good when there comes something new. So there was someone there make a underskrift to have it not come here.
Is it actually helping to save some energy bill?
No, I think no.
But how do you say I have so many windmills, solar panels in Bornholm Island. Is it kind of helps you to save the energy bill, or is just not?
No, I don't think it's any. No, it's no cheaper. No, I think so. No.
Okay. Still, you are supporting this clean energy, even though it doesn't really give you anything.
Yes, I think it's good for the milieu. I said it's green island, and I think it's good.
실제 자기들 상상하지 않아도 보너를 높은 상승을 하니까 이런 거에 대해서 다 받아들였다. 사실 자기 별로 좋아하진 않는다 이런 거에 대해서 이런 얘기했어요. 그건 안 되는 적이 있어요. 그런 얘기했어요. So you're living next to solar panel.
Yes.
Is it okay for you? And
Yeah.
do you like it? Or?
It's okay. Not so nice, but okay.
Is it good as a green island, or why do you support this solar panel?
I think it's a good idea because we show us as a green island, and I think it's a good way to show it.
Okay.
And
just one more time. Can you repeat that again, please? The last one.
No, I don't remember what I said.
I mean, is it like a green island?
Okay. I think it's a good idea. We show us as a green island, and there is so we have to have such a thing in the island.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Nej, det burde godt nok ikke. Det tager 2 minutter.
Og vi skal også hjem og pakke det sidste eller noget.
Jeg tager det også med.
Ring redaktionen på.
So, okay, we will start now.
Yeah.
Could you tell us about who you are and where do you live?
My name is Mika, and I'm 21 years old. I came to Bornholm in 2013.
Okay.
So I've been here for 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah. I live in a town near the water. It's called Gudhjem.
Gudhjem, yeah, we were there yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Food festival.
Yeah.
What about you?
My name is Jasmine. I live in Nøkker, a little city nearby Rønne.
Okay.
I'm 18 years old.
So could you tell us a little bit about Bornholm Island? Why is it famous?
Why is it famous, Jasmine?
Because of all the beaches. Like there's a lot of beaches on
and the
Bornholm.
nature.
And the nature.
It's a very like a rocky nature. We got a lot of cliffs and.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Just look at it, like.
Yeah. Then we also heard Bornholm is very famous for the energy.
Yeah.
Have you heard about it, or can you feel it, or do you know about this energy island, Bornholm?
I think we have a lot of green energy. We have windmills and such, and yeah.
We can see them around, so that's great.
Do you sometimes drive electric vehicle, or it's not really around here?
No, I've seen some electric vehicles, but it's mostly just gas.
So people are talking about Bornholm Island as energy independence island, green island. How do you feel when people say about it?
It's good.
I don't know. I feel maybe kind of proud. It's kind of cool to hear people say that.
Okay.
So that I guess it's a positive thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
You live here more than him.
Yeah. Yes, I have lived here in 18 years old.
Okay, so
pretty much all your life.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you even grow up in Bornholm Island. So maybe you have a different view.
Actually, what?
I mean, you live here many years than him, so you might have another idea. And what do you think about Bornholm Island as an energy, or do you actually feel it when you live here?
Actually, I don't feel it, but I know it's there, so that's great.
So could you tell us your name and where you live?
Yes, my name is Marianne, and I live here in Hesle.
Oh.
Yes.
How many years you live in Hesle?
Ja? Okay. Nå, den skulle ligge der. Ja, fint. Ja.
So could you tell us again?
Yeah.
Could you tell us your name and where do you live?
Yes, my name is Marianne, and I live here in Hesle. And I lived here for first 21 years, and then I traveled a lot, and then I came back for 18 years ago.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, what is the best part of Bornholm Island?
It's Hesle.
Of course, yeah.
Yes. But there are several places on Bornholm, so that's very beautiful. I like seas, what you call it? Rubinsøen. It's in the neighbor here, in the forest, so it's very beautiful. And also you can go to the beach all the time, so it's very beautiful here, the nature.
How's your life in Bornholm Island? Because I'm a bit curious. What's your yearly lifetime here? It's a very beautiful area.
Yes. It's very cold in the winter, and there's no tourists, so it's very death-like. So when it's summer, the tourists come, it will be more life and more interesting, and the restaurants are opening, and so it's more life.
Because I was here in January last year, and I can actually feel it.
Yes.
It's very different now.
Yes, I know.
Many people are visiting here.
Yes.
And, I also heard Bornholm Island is very famous. They're looking for the energy independence because you had the one cable before, you had a problem.
Yeah.
So how do you actually able to feel it? This energy part of the Bornholm Island, Green Island,
yes,
Energy Island?
But I see the news. They are building up several things, sun cells and windmills, and they looking to create a nice nature to take the garbage away, and they have some departments or groups where they talk about Green Island, so they operate, So I read about it in the newspaper. So
some people compare Bornholm Island with Samsø Island in Denmark and near Jylland.
Okay, yeah.
But I personally like this island because this island is more like a people.
Yeah.
Because some say it's more like a business point of view. Here, Bornholm Island is more like they're looking for the people. How to make people better life. That's what actually Bornholm Island is very famous for.
Yeah.
Do you sometimes have kind of a society, a group of people are talking together about the life of the Bornholm Island do you have any similar life thinking?
Yes.
Group of people?
Yes, I think about it's will stay the same. It will become without garbage, and it will stay clean. It's very important. So if you look around, if I take responsible for the nature, I have to collect garbage and clean after myself. It's very important, and teach other people to do the same. So I think it's more clean, and they take responsibility, the people here on Bornholm. And there's also the vehicles in electric. More and more buy this. Yes,
Is there anybody around your home who have like electric vehicles?
Yes, I have. Yeah,
you have.
My son is getting one also. Yes.
Okay.
Because it's there are many hills, so they will help you through the hill. Yes, yeah.
Because we are trying to visit 1 or 2 houses while we are here as well, so that's why we're looking for anybody who have a EV.
Yeah.
Trying to show us how their life in Bornholm Island is clean or energy.
Yes.
That's what we're also looking for. So
Yeah.
we are here until tomorrow evening.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're also gonna meet with some of the government people, company people.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we're also looking for.
I
So
think you have to speak with Anna Thomas. It's a political. She is in part. She is leading some with the Green Bright Island. Yes.
She's a politician, or?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you know her? She lives around here? Or?
No, I think you have to get her through your telephone. Yes.
Maybe I'll ask the mayor about it.
Yes, I think. Yeah. She is a vice mayor.
Okay.
Yes.
They're competing.
Yes. I don't think so, but yeah.
수마시는 사람 물어봤어요. 실제로 뭐 여기서 그린 아일랜드 내는 거 어떻게 경험하고 있으며, 실제로 주변에도 전기차 사용하는 게 있고, 자기 아들도 뭐 살 거고 뭐. 그래서 내가 은근슬쩍 집 섭외하는 거 물어봤더니 누구한테 얘기하라고 하는데 뭐 자기는 안다 싫다고. 소개 좀 부탁드립니다. 얘기는 해봤어요.
So it's good?
네?
Yeah.
다른 거 질문할 수 있을까?
Yeah.
Just one more. Just
yeah. 수산물 시장에 좀 알고 싶은데 옛날에 들어보니까 그렇지만 다 떠나고 옛날에
그게 저희 주제와 관련이 있습니까?
그렇죠. 잠깐 설명.
Okay. Just one final question.
Yeah.
Wondering.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So he's also wondering.
Yeah.
Bornholm Island was very famous before about the fish.
Yes.
And the fish market is still there. And can you tell us a little bit about this fish market and industry?
Yes, we have the seals. They are eating our fish.
Okay.
So we have a problem there. And there are some fishing quotas. So they can only fish a little bit, you know. So many fishers have given up and been selling their boats because it's not very good. And it's very expensive, the fish markets. Yeah. So when you go to a røgeri, smoke, and want to buy some smoked fish, it's very expensive now.
Okay.
Yes. So I don't buy anymore because it's very expensive.
It's getting more expensive.
Yes. We have some appointments with a fisher here in Hasle, Bo Johansen. He's coming with fresh fish. So we can get an app on the telephone. So, yeah. So we can meet him here when he arrives with his fishing boat or he's selling fish. Yeah.
Okay, could you tell us just one final question?
Yeah.
How do you see the future of the Bornholm Island? Do you think people are about the... How do you see the future of the island?
Yeah, it will... I think there will be less fish in some years. They will die out because they have to go far away to get some fish. So they are not very. They are eating by seal eggs.
You need a new industry probably here.
Yeah.
New business and new industry.
Yes.
Yeah.
성함은 성함.
처음에 와봤어요. Could you repeat the name again, please?
Yeah. My name is Marianne. Yeah.
How can you spell it?
M-A-R-I-U-I-A-N-N-E.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.